So in preparation for the Indiana General Assembly, the 2021 session, I'm going to show you what you can do on the website of the General Assembly. The address for the web address is iga.in.gov. On their homepage, you have access to pretty much all their live feeds, their meeting schedules, access to bills. So on your right, you'll have a calendar of meetings for today. Obviously today there are no meetings since it's not session. So let's go back in time and show you what a calendar looks like. There was a meeting, it looked like a committee meeting in room 156, and it had to do with a House bill. House session and Senate session, which are in the House chamber and Senate chamber. If you click on those links, it will take you to the live feed for that particular session. Currently, there is no live feed for the chamber, so there is nothing showing. Also at the bottom, there is a link to watch live both the Senate and House chambers, and then you can also browse the archives and watch past videos or past meetings. So on the information tab, there is a locations and maps. So this is what I'm on currently. This is the floor plan or room numbers of the State House. The Senate chamber and the House chamber are actually on the 3rd floor. You come in on the 2nd floor when you come from the outside. The other information that you might find helpful is finding your legislator. If you don't know who your legislator is, you can type in your address and it will tell you who your legislator is. There's also Senate districts and House districts. If you click on a certain area, it'll tell you what district they're in, and that goes the same for the House. So the next tab is the session tab. This is the tab that I spend a lot of time on for quick connections to the chamber, live feed, to the calendars. So you already know what the webcast looks like. Obviously there's nothing going on. The calendar, there's currently nothing on the calendar since there's no session. But if we go back into time, we are going back to session in 2020, and we're going to look at their House calendar here, and it'll give you an idea of what the calendar looks like. So you can pick certain days on the left hand side here. We're going to just pick January 27. And it'll have a list of bills that are up for hearing on the chamber floors. Actually, this one is the House calendar, so it would be just the House chamber. So it'll tell you what bills are on for second reading. There's a whole list of them, my word. There's a couple House bills that are up for third reading, and then there's a concurrent resolution. Concurrent resolutions are usually more information, recognizing somebody for something that they might have done or an organization has done. So here are the bills listed. The House bill number, and then if there's any amendments that are attached or wanting to be attached to this bill, you can view those. Now this has already happened, so sometimes you won't actually see this until after the amendment has passed or failed. You might not be able to view those. If you click on the House bill link, it will take you to a description of the bill, a very brief description. It'll tell you who the authors are and who the co-authors are. After the second half of session and the House bills have passed and the Senate bills have passed each of their own chambers, they'll swap bills and they'll have to do the same process of passing bills that they did in the first half. So sponsors are, for an example here, this one is going to the Senate. So it passed through the House first and is going to the Senate. So they need somebody on the Senate side that will take this bill and run it, make sure that it gets its votes, advocate for it. So that's what the sponsored by means. If you want to know more information, on the left-hand side, anything pertaining to this particular bill, you'll have on the left side. Bill details is this. Bill action, so anything that has happened with this particular bill, it'll tell you. The other one that I find very valuable, especially if you want to see how someone voted and it's recorded. So the roll calls are recorded votes, and this particular one, the vote sheet usually has to do with committee votes. So a bill gets assigned to committee after first reading, and the committee discusses it and will vote on it. So this is a Senate bill that went into Senate Committee on Appropriations, and it will show you how each committee member voted in the process of getting the bill out of committee onto the floor. So it looks like 9 voted yes and 4 voted no for it to go before the Senate, and so it passed out of committee. It is now on the floor. This particular one had an amendment attached to it, so this is the vote on the amendment for the Senate. And it says who voted yay, who voted nay. A quick view of the current bill. So after it's had amendments attached to it, there's times where it'll actually cross out a few things. Like here it looks like an "and" was crossed out. So if the bill passes, that will get taken out. I don't see anything else. Oh, here's another one. Looks like for public inspection is going to be taken out of this bill. The last item on the session tab is the daily journal. Now, if you like journals or diaries, this is what it is, to the tiniest detail. Anything that is said or requested to be entered into the journal is put in here. So any bill, fine details. I mean, this particular day was, what day was this? On February 27, 2020, this is what happened at the State House for session. The next tab is committees. If you click on committees and all, you'll see an entire list of all the committees that meet. Senate committees, House committees, and each bill that passes out of first reading will go and get assigned to a committee. The assignment is made by topic, so any bill that has to do with agricultural and rural development will get put in to here. So on the legislative tab, the one thing that I like on this tab is the bills. If you click on the list of bills, which is this list, it will show an entire list of all the bills that are filed for the Senate and for the House. If you click on it, it will take you to the bill. So this is a quick way to find a particular bill, especially if you know what bill number you're looking for. So I want to show you what Indiana code looks like. And any bill that becomes law has a Indiana code, and it goes into the law section here, and you can then search it by title, article, chapter, or section. But this is what it looks like. IC 27-13-1-4, that pertains to a certain particular code in the Indiana code somewhere. And I'll explain in a little bit what each of those numbers stand for. So the last tab is laws. These are all the laws that have been passed, or the bills that have been passed and have become law. On the left hand side you will find all the titles, and they're basically categories. So for example, taxation, alcohol and tobacco, utilities and transportation. So anything that has to do with any of those categories are put in here. So Title 6 has to do with taxation. So the titles are broken down into articles. This is an overview of the different articles. Articles are then broken down into chapters. Chapters are then broken down into sections. And if you notice, each time there's a number added. So IC6 is Indiana Code Title 6. So the first number is the title. The second number is the article. Third number is the chapter. And the last number is the section. So let's pick a title, and I happen to have done some research on a particular topic at one point, and so a lot of the information is in here. So I'm just going to pick those 4 and see where it takes us. So it took me to Indiana Code 1014-3-12, and it's talking about disaster emergency. I wonder why I was searching that. You can also search a certain particular keyword if you know a keyword. And again, emergency management happens to be at the top of my list since I have done some research on that. And it will bring up a list of any Indiana code that has emergency management in it. So that's an overview of the website for the Indiana General Assembly. I hope you learned something, and thank you for joining me.